Chief Minister of Manipur Biren Singh has launched a war on drugs. The government is holding talks with the Border Roads Organization to fence the entire stretch of India-Myanmar border. The Chief Minister has also announced the creation of an anti-narcotic task force to tackle illicit poppy cultivation in the state. The ANTF will start functioning with immediate effect. Now let me come to the point and let me ask the question, can this drive succeed when the police has no proper access in hill areas and buffer zone has divided Manipur into two parts? Now the bigger problem is that the hill areas are being manned by Assam Rifles, the Imphal Valley is being manned by Manipur Police. Gradually CRPF and BSF is also being inducted in the Manipur theatre. And this becomes even more important because Chief Minister is saying that he'll ensure that the border is fenced, because only 6 kilometers of the Manipur border is fenced. He has also raised question on the free movement of people, 16-kilometer corridor which is there. He says this needs to come to an end. On this issue, I am joined by my input editor Brijesh Pandey, Dr. Khangebam Romesh, Assistant Professor, Center for Philosophy, JNU, Dr. Thangulal Haukeb, Assistant Professor, Center for Study of Law and Governance, and Suhas Chakma, Director, Rights and Risk Analysis Group. First, I'll come to you. Now, this announcement was made on 23rd evening. 24th, ANTF came into force. Chief Minister has made the announcement, Brijesh, that this is going to be his pivot. Let me play out the bite of Biren Singh and then please answer the question, can this be a pivot? Because certain announcements are very, very clear that Biren Singh is organizing the so-called post-conflict chief ministership around poppy, arms and anti-narcotic drive and the fencing of the border. Let's play out the bite.
We invited the NCB Narcotic Bureau officials day before yesterday, and we have constituted a joint committee with the state, NAF and the NCB, and we will continue surveillance as well as destruction of the poppy plantation in the hill areas.
So Biren Singh very clearly, categorically, these are old visuals, but I am playing out these visuals. They started somewhere before the conflict, in which he is telling his colleague that these are the areas where poppy is being cultivated. So Biren Singh's war on drugs 2.0. Opening comments.
Well, I think, right now the biggest challenge for the government would be to ensure peace, law and order in the state. It's not going to be a one day or a very quick task as far as fencing of Indo-Myanmar border, especially the Manipur stretch. And also, this crackdown and the formation of ANTF, which comes into immediate effect. It's a more populist measure, because I completely agree that, that illegal poppy cultivation is something which should be tackled with a very hard stance, because drugs destroy the future of the state and the country. But right now, with the kind of, the turmoil Manipur is undergoing through, I don't see this alacrity in forming to crack down on groups, be it Kuki or Maiti, who are holding illegal weapons or country-made weapons. I think the top focus should right now of the state should be that. It seems this particular gig seems to be more of a populist measure, if I may say so.
Populist measure. Dr. Ramesh, do you think it's populist or required? Because if you just go by the words, if you go by the details, the administrative action he has taken in last 48 hours, it's around fencing of the border, his meeting with the BRO, his induction of CRPF and BSF and Manipur theatre. It is also about of creation of this force and to find out illegal immigrants. So you know by what is being announced what's the pivot. So do you think that this pivot is going to work right now when the buffer zone exists?
Thank you, Kartike. Am I audible?
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Ramesh.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Kartike, for having me after a long gap. At this moment, I think the announcement of the Chief Minister for fencing of the border is required. But at this moment of the crisis, I think it may not have. What is more important, what is more required at this moment is how to protect the lives of the citizens of the Manipur. So the state has some sort of responsibility to protect the life of the people of Manipur. But at this present situation, I think that by the state, I mean both the state and union government. So they are doing anything now. The common people are protecting their life themselves. So at this moment, the government should give more importance, should give more emphasis on how to protect the life of the people of the Manipur, the citizen of this country. So I think this is not the right step to be taken up at this situation. What is more important is how to protect the life of the citizens of the Manipur. What the government has been doing since May 3rd. They are doing nothing. Two group of people are fighting. People are dying. They don't have proper food. They don't have proper place to sleep. So the announcement of the fencing of the border, it will take time, but I welcome this decision of the government, but it will take time. So at this situation, the government should look into how to bring peace, how to protect the life of the citizen of this country, how to provide security to the people of the Manipur.
Dr. Hauke, if the government believes that the real issue is illegal immigration, and the government believes that the narcotics is grown in the hills, and they believe that that's where it needs to be busted, well then that's the policy then. And so be it. Dr. Hauke.
Yes, I think I have so many things to say this evening regarding these policies of poppy
Take your time.
cultivation
Take your time. Take your
as
time.
well
Say
as
it.
border fencing. But let me first, try to articulate on why, so soon the chief minister is trying to do all these things when it is, not the time to have some quick policy right now. So, to my opinion, the chief minister is trying to gain quick legitimacy of authority because so far we have been questioning his continuance as a chief minister of Manipur. He has not been able to control the law and order situation for the last 4.5 months. So we have been questioning his continuance of, to power, clinging to power, while he has not been able to control or gain confidence of the people who have been into a conflict for the last more than 4 months. And coming to this border fencing, you know, uh, this area is a kind of a cultural space where people on both sides of the border are the same. Uh, and for the last many years, there is a kind of policy where these people could, move around. Uh, in a certain kilometer, within certain kilometer of this international border. And if you look into the reality once again, for instance, the southernmost tip of the southeastern border of Manipur is, totally not connected with the rest of India. For instance, if someone from New Sabtal in southeastern part of Manipur has to come to More or to Imphal or to New Delhi, they have to go move few meters towards the towards the east. I mean, to the Indo-Myanmar friendship border. I mean, road, and from there they have to travel to the north to More and to Imphal. So that's the only road. So if we try to fence the whole border, or if we want to end this kind of regime, then we have to have this road in place, or we have to have a border road between More, New Samtal, and other places in Churachandpur. Before bringing that, while we are using the infrastructure of the other side of the border, that is the Myanmar's infrastructure of roads and others, how can we just fence them and then leave these people without any, means of communication with the rest of India? So this is not going to be easy, and it cannot come immediately. And we have to think a long term by at least trying to build. If you say that there is a kind of national security involved in it because of illegal immigration and others, and we need to fence this whole stretch of Manipur-Myanmar border,
Okay, let me
then we
ask you
have to
this,
first think
Dr.
about
Hauke,
providing
is it possible, is it
terms of roads.
possible, is it possible to fence the Manipur border? Is it possible? Because the Bangladesh border fencing not only took more than 20 years, but Bangladesh fencing often led to firing between two forces, suspension of work. It also, border fencing was not an easy issue. So when I ask about fencing of the border, is it an easy issue? Can it be done easily? Does the demography permits it there?
That's actually the question. We have to study first, this Indo-Bangladeshi border as well as other parts of the country, and then carefully look into it. Instead of being instead of antagonizing the other country through border fencing and others, we could have certain other policy of increasing the security regime in this borderland, rather than of course, Myanmar is not a hostile country. They are more friendlier than Bangladesh. We have had a good relationship with them. Definitely, this border fencing would not tantamount to certain antagonistic approach by the Myanmarese army.
Okay.
But definitely, I think we have to study first properly the pros and cons, the cause of erecting those.
You see, Dr. Haukip, you are saying it needs to be studied properly, but the Chief Minister has decided, he has declared it as war on drugs. So my question to Suhas is one, that when the Chief Minister says that, he's going to launch and it's going to be the pivot of his policy, what should we make out of it? One is, what he wants to do, he has said it. As journalists, what should we make out of this pivot? War on drugs 2.0 version. That is my first question to you. What should I make out of it?
Well, I think what we should make out of it is that Biren Singh thinks that the rest of the people are fools. And the citizens of this country are idiots and they could be taken for a ride. And that's why he is saying all these things. Let me tell one thing. If the war on drugs is going to take place genuinely, I believe that a number of officials, a number of political leaders belonging to all political parties, a number of actors from all the communities will be arrested, and we will see when it comes. It's very easy to announce one particular policy, but all of us know the ground reality, and the reality is, without the participation, connivance, and acquiescence of certain officials, certain political functionaries at various levels, drug trafficking, cultivation cannot take place, and the war started only on one issue, that this conflict started because of the division over the dividends from the drug war. We cannot prove it, but that is one of the fundamental elements. The second issue which I want to comment on, I am from Tripura, so I know the Indo-Bangladesh border. Chakmas live along the sides in Tripura and Mizoram on the Indo-Bangladesh borders. I think, the time has come for us to realize that, the border fencing is not workable. United States has not been able to stop immigration from Mexico. Italy has not been able to stop. In fact, couple of days back, the chief of the European Commission had said migration will be one issue which will tear apart the European Union. So when people say that they are going
you
to
saying that the fencing is not going to work, Chief?
No, absolutely not. It's absolutely not workable. Even if you build a fence,
why?
The number of
why?
Well, fans are blown away, blown apart. People just cut the wires, they come in, and you are not going to deploy thousands of troops. And you go to Mizoram, Mizoram will say, we need to have, free border movement, which we are having just because of 4,000 people, which Manipur says illegal immigrant. If they are going to protest about it, why should Mizoram accept it? It doesn't work out. Even between Bangladesh and India, you think the border fencing works out. It doesn't work out. It possibly stops, certain movement of illegal things, the trucks and etc. But otherwise, it doesn't work out.